And we are live.
Are those ASMR fingers?
Yes, they are.
ASMR.
Can you hear them?
It's
Man, one thing I like about this camera is the freaking focus is so focusy.
which camera is that?
This is the A7 III.
Really?
Yeah.
This is the A52 5G.
Oh, that's a phone. That's not a camera. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of ladies, guess who joined me on Amazon in the chat yesterday?
Your wife?
No.
Oh.
Our old friend Beth, Simply Beth.
Simply the Beth.
Yes, she joined us. She joined me on Amazon. If you aren't following me on Amazon, please go follow me on Amazon, because the more followers I get on Amazon, the more they will let me potentially get on the front page and make all the buku influencer dollars and stuff. But seriously,
Sweet.
I've got over 200. I've got over 200 followers right now. I need 2,000. So
Okay.
consider I've gotten a whole lot more followers on Amazon than I have subscribers on YouTube in the past week or so.
It's a whole different beast over there. They're taking it off. Hey, where are we pushing the stream tonight?
We are on the regular Painfully Honest Tech. We are on Painfully Honest Live. If you're not subscribed to Painfully Honest Live, get over there, subscribe to Painfully Honest Live, because that's where this is eventually going. But since I was away for a while, I've been putting it back on Painfully Honest Tech just to get people reacclimated.
If one of the mods wants to put the Painfully Honest Live link for tonight's stream in the chat, please do. It's the same stream, everybody, and it helps out Jason tremendously if you watch over there with the minutes and everything.
Yeah.
And even I'll pop over there because I'm watching us right now on the regular channel. I'll pop over there. You will still see the regular chat and everything in the window here. The restream thing is really kind of cool. Yeah.
Yeah. And what you can do is, even if you're not watching that, you can still go over there and put it on silent and watch on the regular channel, or you could watch on Twitch, on Painfully Honest Live, Painfully Honest Tech. You could go watch on Twitter. You could go watch on Facebook. You could watch 5 times, but that might be asking a lot.
I'm watching on the live channel now.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So here we are. It's been a crazy few days again. So there was another COVID scare.
At your family?
Yes.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. My grandson's mom got COVID.
Oh, jeez.
And so she was really sick. So of course, my mother-in-law is here visiting. Mm-hmm. She's older, so she had to get tested. We got the baby tested. And then depending on how those were going to go, we were going to get tested ourselves, like the rest of us. But they were both negative. So, whew.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, this sucks. This whole thing.
It's not fun. My kids are going back to school. Well, my daughter starts tomorrow. She starts grade something tomorrow, and my son starts on Friday, and then the long weekend happens this weekend here in Canada, and then they both go back on Tuesday. So tomorrow and Friday are orientations, so it's staggered. The same rules are in place right now, so they're distancing in the classrooms, masks on all the time, constant sanitization, and then they move the classes at different times so the halls aren't packed, and of course strict adherence, stay on the right kind of thing. So the rules are still there, the same things that we had last year. Last year we were only notified 3 or 4 times of somebody in the school having it. Of course we don't know because of privacy reasons, but the big difference is this year, unless something changes with how things are building up right now with Delta and everything, they're not notifying. So if a student stays home from school or calls the school, says, or a parent calls and says, hey, my kid can't come because of COVID, and they even report that to the health services, the health services will not notify all the other parents in the school. So we have no way of knowing, which is kind of but even though we only had 4 cases all throughout last year, it makes me very hopeful because of the steps they're taking and everything. So
here in Iowa, they've basically decided that it doesn't exist and everything is back to normal.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so that's the way it's working in Iowa. Our governor drank the MAGA Kool-Aid and
Oh,
is
man.
just like no mask mandates, no like nothing, and fully no online school, no halftime, no splitting days, no nothing. Everybody just goes back to school and tough it out. Tough it out,
That's
Buttercup.
I mean, say what you will. We've heard all the stories during the summer. How many times do we have to hear the story about this commentator, this radio person, this governor, this person, I don't believe, or they don't, and everything, and then they're dead.
Yeah.
Like, how, I get, like, how do people, like, how do you not get it by now?
That's the thing that's really frustrating is, I just saw an article today about a guy who worked for a Christian ministry group. I can't remember exactly which one it was, but he was like their communications officer in their main communications officer in their big office. And he wrote an op-ed in USA Today about why he, as a Christian, took the vaccine, and he got fired.
So backwards.
Fired.
Real quick,
Yeah.
this is just because this pertains to what we were talking about at the start here. Brett says, "Is there one channel you'd like us to subscribe for perks or anything?" For now, Brett, it'd be really great if you're subscribed to both because we'll be transitioning everything over there. Right now, your perks and your membership and everything all stay here. All those kind of things will stay in place until Jason gets those over there. Now, he doesn't get the perks, he doesn't get the memberships, he doesn't get anything until he hits 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. And so it's going to take a bit.
Right.
But we're in it for we could do it. We'll just we'll just pull a whole bunch of Vipers and like stream for like 8 hours.
Yeah.
Maybe not on Tuesdays because I have my thing at 10:15 Eastern. Plug.
I've already been in the past. So I streamed twice today on Amazon already. I streamed twice on Amazon yesterday.
Nice.
And even though it's an hour, like you have to talk about the products. You've got like a whole list of products going on. You have to engage the audience. You got to do all that stuff. It gets kind of tiring.
It does. Like an hour stream. Like if you don't do it, once you get used to doing it more often, like our friend BMac, who does, he's there like daily. He's like, yeah, the first couple months it's just like, oh my gosh, right? Because there's more to it than like what we're doing. But think about like when you and I first started streaming, like there was like, and now this is simple. So now it's just a little bit different task and everything.
Well, the thing is, I did it for a whole year up until August of last year
when they were paying checks.
when they were paying. So they're paying again. And so there's I've got a little bit of a deal going on over there,
nice.
Which is another reason why I want to perform well. I want people to come over because I want to provide some different kind of content over there. I want to do some like just more loose talk about stuff kind of content since it's free form and it's an hour, et cetera, et cetera.
Got Don Cover in the chat. We also got Digital Slang. How you doing, Alex? Ace Rocks Tech. Thanks for being here, guys. And who else? I can't. The only thing. Oh, I can scroll through it. Okay, on Restream, I thought I could not. William Clement here, Geonosis. I don't want to get off. I don't want to cut you off, Jason. But I just wanted to say hello because the people that show up, the tech for your needs. Yes, like you said there, John Strider. Appreciate you guys all coming through.
Sea Lions man was at the emergency room and sped home so that he could be here tonight.
That's dedication. Thank you. Appreciate
that. So. If you're here regularly, I think I saw Khalil's name in there. So thank you so much for being here, folks. As always, spread the news about the painfully honest tech.
The stream we're trying to do an hour and a half max because I have my thing at 10:15 Eastern, which is 9:15 Central, 8:15 Mountain, 7:15 Pacific over in Zach Talks Tech. Yes, I can plug it because I'm the co-host here. I am the host here, I guess, right now. Let's go on to the first topic, Jason. So. You've had the.
Oh wait! First, we have sponsors. We haven't been talking about the sponsors.
Sponsors. Yeah, that's the sponsors.
And the sponsor that I want to highlight tonight, and this is for all you people out there who want to do the YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Who and really sort of get the most out of what you're doing. I have a little thing going on with TubeBuddy. Okay, so if you go down into the description below and you click that TubeBuddy link, you get 30 days of like full fat TubeBuddy.
Nice.
For free.
Full fat TubeBuddy.
Yeah, that sounds a little bit wrong.
No, that sounds right. That's right up our alley, man.
Yeah, but you get all the TubeBuddy goodness for 30 days free, and then you can choose whatever membership you want to keep going in. But I tell you what, I'm using TubeBuddy
Yeah.
features more and more often all the time.
I use it on a regular basis for I use it for streams. Like it's really useful because you can put tags in for streams.
Yeah.
But when you're doing the upload, it's nice to have that checklist. Okay, you did this, you put your your captions in or your markers for a video to go watch or playlists, like that. It's nice to have those reminders because I'll tell you right now, there are so many things that you can miss when you upload a video, and because of how the algorithm YouTube works, it doesn't like it when you go in and change things after. Simple things like the thumbnail you can do if you're doing testing or anything like that. So it's nice to have those checks and do it one time and be done with it, right? So
yeah, it was. I mean, I've gone into and I'm starting to use some of the deeper features like on the TubeBuddy website and stuff too. So that's really cool. I mean, not that it's for some reason it's not doing the painfully honest tech any good, but we're in a I don't know what it is.
it's a weird time.
Ace was over there yesterday when I was doing a headphone high def audio stream yesterday on Amazon, so that was
Nice.
that was cool.
Nice.
Yeah, so all of those things,
And super chats are open. Yay!
Yes, oh yes, they are.
Yeah,
most definitely. Super chats always appreciated. Always
Cool.
appreciated. Did you know that you can now do on videos? You can do applause.
On videos?
Yeah, like I have this thing.
like published videos.
Yeah, so like somebody can like give me money by hitting the applause button.
It's I think they call it super thanks. That's what they call it.
It's called applause now.
Oh, I thought they renamed it the super thanks.
I just know that I've been applauded one time.
That was mine. Wasn't it?
It might have been. I can't remember. But
yeah, it's called super thanks. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
mine. That's mine.
And of course I got to get all this stuff out of the way because I've been remiss, and in being remiss, I have allowed things to slide. And I memberships also open and available.
Yeah, it's called super thanks.
And so I got something called applause.
I think you're. I don't know what that is. I know that it was called applause, and now it's called super thanks.
Oh, maybe they changed it.
They renamed it. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Same thing as a super chat, right? Yeah.
Anyway.
Male sensitivity. What happened to Viper? Well, actually, Viper's actually. I mean, we might as well just say it. He's live over on his thing. He's doing the Veda thing, so he's streaming for 30 days straight over on his live channel. But nothing happened to him. Like Jason went and did his own thing for a while, and we all kind of did our own thing, and now Jason and I are back together, and Viper's still doing his own thing. Yeah.
I was just on Friday Night Viper on Friday.
Yeah.
So it's I mixed it up there for a little while. We did the solo thing, and now Zach is back to do it. I mean, it's we're
all kind of doing our own thing. There's no scandal. There's no scandal.
Yeah, Genosis is watching 3 different versions. Oh, you've got 3 different streams open, or just 3 versions of this one?
I don't know how you do that. I don't. Hey, so let's transition here because we're 15 minutes in.
Yes, well, we've got a question that does that transitioning nicely for us.
Okay, Jason, are you reviewing the affordable Z Fold? So yes, you've had the Samsung Galaxy Z or Z Fold 3 now for how long? 3 days, right?
I've had to flip.
Why don't you go full screen and show the people?
Okay, hold on. Let me go full screen, baby.
Click the button.
There we go.
There you go.
Check it out.
So you got in the black, that nice matte black, right?
Yeah. Look, you can do this. It's my grandson.
Aw, there you go. It looks good. I'm watching it over here.
You have to tap it for it to do anything.
It's way more useful than last year's little screen, hey?
It has the widgets, it has widgets for, although they're hard to get to work,
they don't always work.
Well, I'm trying to make them work and they're not working. So maybe I have to tap and then widget. Yeah, that's what you got to tap. You got to double tap and then widget.
That's to prevent accidental touches in the pocket, probably.
Yeah. So you've got music. You've got.
Do you have an overhead cam to show us this?
I don't. Because I don't know if it's hooked up. Samsung Health 10-minute timer, and you can add a widget, but there's really only My Galaxy Buds 2, I can put on there as well. So, and it can change the noise cancellation and such. So, I mean, this is basically, you remember the Samsung Galaxy, or not, no, the LG V10 and V20 both had a secondary screen that that was sort of the same thing. It sort of tucked itself into the screen right here, right? And it had the time and it had all your info, but then you could swipe over and control your music and see your notifications and all that kind of stuff. So that's basically what this is, a slightly better version of that.
Can I come back into the stream?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Right now, I'm just a voice.
There you are.
Thanks, man.
So yeah, I got it on Sunday. Yeah.
Where'd you pick it up from?
I just got it off Verizon.
Verizon. So you add another
Verizon
line?
Store. Nah, yeah, I guess I did. Because
how many lines do you have?
I actually got rid of recently, like a few months ago, of like 4 lines.
Oh my god.
And so I still have my iPad, me, my wife, my daughter, and I think 3 other lines.
That's crazy.
So like 7.
All right. So
it's not that bad.
Did you have the first generation flip? Okay, so let's be really clear here, because I know some people are kind of confused about this. There
Flip?
is the hold on. There is the Galaxy Z Flip, then the Galaxy Z Flip 5G, which was the second generation. That's why this one is called Z Flip 3. So, Did you ever have the first or second generation?
I did not. And the only place I ever saw the Flip last year was in Best Buy, and they had it in this they had it in traction, so it would like sit like this in a plastic thing, and you couldn't open and close it. So
that's the whole point.
I know, but imagine being in a Best Buy and like 1,000 people a day go by and open and close the thing, it's gonna break in two.
So Alex makes a good point here. If the cameras were better, I'd upgrade from my S20 Plus. Now that's a very good point. I think we pointed that out maybe in a past stream, or maybe I didn't mind. The camera system on this year's foldables, so both the Z Fold and the Z Flip 3, are the exact same camera systems as last year's. So that's pretty significant that nothing changed there. But what did change, and specifically with the Z Flip, the one that Jason has here, is that price went from like $1,500 down to $999.
I think it was $1,400 last year, and now it's $999. Yeah,
yeah, and also the IPX8 waterproofing, so no dust. But if you want to put that in a dunk of water, again, fresh water, not salt water. Again, very big point to make.
Yeah,
you can't. They can say water, but what they mean by, because whenever you see the thing, and it says water in the little 1, that means that there's additional information about that. If you go down, they specifically say fresh water. So fresh water can also be chlorinated water. But if you go to the ocean, what kills your phone most of the time is not the actual water; it's what the water leaves behind. And in the ocean, that's salt and all that crap in there, right? So
yeah. I mean, so I've been using it now for the better part of 3 days, and I made a first impressions video yesterday. It's with the editor right now. It should be back tomorrow to be released.
Whoa, editor.
I've got this. I have another guy. His name's Aiden, who has edited things for me in the past, and so I just sent him a couple of. I did 2 videos yesterday, and I knew. So okay, Zach has been doing editing for me as well, but I knew that you were busy, and I wanted to get these things done so I could get them out this week.
Dude, it's okay. We already talked.
Yeah. So I sent 2 videos quick to him so he could do them. And he just basically does the A roll, and then I plop in the B roll, and then it's good to go. Okay. So I did a first impressions video. That's coming. It's a little bit more detailed, but I did 6 things that I liked about it, 6 things that I didn't like about it. I've added some things that I don't like about it.
How do you like the matte finish? Talked about this before. Matte finish all the things. Am I right, my friend? Am I right?
Yeah, it's really pretty nice, and it actually kind of looks like a Pixel 2, doesn't it?
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, okay, because of the glossy at the top there.
Yeah,
I didn't think about that, but very similar, very similar.
Yeah.
How's your battery power been? And then I know I've seen some people complaining about this on the Twitters.
Well, let me tell you,
Here we go,
it's been
folks.
awful. It's been so bad. I mean, I honestly have not had a smartphone with battery this bad for a long time.
And it's not even a fast charger in there. It's like it's max 15 watt, isn't it?
No, I think you can use an 18 or 20 watt charger with it.
Okay.
Although this is another thing, I'll talk about this in a minute, but the charging thing is annoying too. But
What, that it doesn't come with an adapter?
yeah, and I'll tell you why it's become specifically annoying to me right now.
Yeah.
I do want to call out Khalil's super chat here, 4.99 super chat. Thank you very much. And so he says, I read chlorine water also isn't good. Phil Schiller said if it falls into the pool, rinse it off with tap water and let it dry. Yeah, that would be right. I mean, there's chlorine in tap water as well.
I guess I should rescind that part. But yeah, generally speaking, when they say water, they mean fresh water. So yeah. I remember when I was at the beach with my iPhone, which is actually this camera here. It's not this phone, with my iPhone 11 Pro Max, and we were in the ocean, and I left my stuff up there, and the big wave came up and got everything wet. And then I came up, the part where at the resorts where you can like use fresh water to get the salt water off you, and I'm there like this. And my wife tried taking video with her phone. It came horrible, but she took pictures, but she got these wide angle shots of people going, "Oh, what do you do with your phone?" Right? And I'm like, "Oh, it's okay. It's fresh water." And that's my 11 Pro Max, and that was over a year ago. That was November of 2019. And
nice.
We've got no problems, man.
We've got our friend Technical T in the chat now.
There he is.
Thanks for being here this evening, Mr. T. Mr. T. Why haven't I used that one before?
Why haven't we used that?
Anyway,
Mr. TT.
So
no? I don't know.
He says the battery is bad, flat out. And yes, let me tell you, this morning I took it off the charger at about 7:30.
Yep.
And by 9:30 in the morning, I was down to 70%.
Really?
And that was like checking social media, checking email, just doing basic morning stuff, watching a few TikTok videos. But like, it's less than 2 hours.
Wow.
And I was down to 70% battery.
I might hit 85. I usually hit 90 by then, if anything.
Yeah, I mean,
that's terrible.
I'm sitting here right now.
Is that what the 120 hertz on?
Yeah, but it's adaptive 120 hertz.
And and like all my this is 100. This thing right here is 120 hertz. My S21's 120 hertz. Like,
yeah,
that shouldn't. Wow.
Yeah, it's really disappointing because I'm at 33% right now.
Technically, T says he has to charge around 2 p.m. That's crazy. I mean, I've read tweets and everything, but like, wow.
Yeah, I mean, and I was doing videos yesterday and doing 2 lives, and then I was like doing videos and stuff or lives today. So there was a good chunk of time where I did not pick up my phone throughout the afternoon. So otherwise, it would have been a lot worse. And honestly, I'm on board with the folds now that they aren't like completely, trash.
Yeah.
Now that they are well built, screen's great, it's got some water resistance, et cetera, I'm on board with it. But I got to say that the flip is not really doing it for me. Because
do you find it really tall? I know some people have said that, because like, for example, like my S21 Plus right here is very tall. Right. I mean, in typical Samsung fashion, it's about the same size as the A52 5G here.
Right.
But apparently the Flip 3 here is taller.
Well, it's tall and it's thin. It's a long, tall drink of water. And that in itself is not a bad thing. The only problem is this aspect ratio. I don't know exactly what it is, but when you watch full screen YouTube videos, you've got a solid inch of screen on either end.
Have you tried a 2x1 video? Like, say, for example, if you go to my latest published video, can you bring that up? I know that you recently resubscribed to me. It's real nice of you. Thank you, buddy.
Hey, man.
I got the notification, on the back end there. I'm like, what the heck? I never unsubscribed from you.
There was a moment.
I know.
So
technically, T says 22 by 9, but bring up my video because my video is done 2x1, and let's just see what it looks like.
So is it the True Value?
True Value, A52 5G review, and make sure you force it into the maximum high res so you can get the full size.
Yeah, so this is what I get with the 2 to 1, which is much better than regular. So you see, you've got like
Yeah.
maybe half an inch,
Yeah.
maybe a little bit more, but it's not that bad, right?
Okay.
So and then this is what it looks like going full. You know, you're not losing a lot.
Yeah, I mean, that's better because it's formatted for 2x1. I know that, like, I do 2x1. John Rettinger does 2x1. Jonathan Morrison 2x1. Renee Ritchie like a lot of people have done 2x1. However,
Yeah.
that's not. I mean, what are you gonna do? Look for 2x1 videos? I don't think that's even a search on there.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah,
not it's not something that you can look for.
yeah.
So let me find another video that's just regular. Okay. Um yeah. So this is what it looks like regularly.
That's like, yeah, I've seen that with the bars and everything. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean it's big. It's big.
yeah.
So
DePoach did one on his TikTok. I saw there. It's interesting that you both talk about the aspect ratio, but yeah. What did technically see? Yeah, the aspect ratio is 22:9. That's, I mean, because it's long, right? Why did they
yeah.
make it so long?
Well, because if it was any thinner, then this would be like a cracker, right? If it was any thinner,
Cracker.
and they probably had to make it longer so that they could make the internals thinner. Because
Yeah,
one thing I was worried about with this phone was that this phone would be unwieldy when it was folded to, say, put in your pocket or something.
yeah.
But it's not. It's not. It's totally fine to put in your pocket. It's comfortable. The only problem is most of the time I forget to fold it.
Isn't
I
that
mean,
ironic? Isn't that ironic? Don't you
because
think?
this is just, I mean, it's a phone,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's a phone, and then you slip it in your pocket, whatever. And to be honest, I find like the folding and unfolding like annoying,
Because you're so used
cumbersome.
to just picking up a device and boom, right?
Well, it's like I have to open it, and then I have to unlock it,
Yeah,
and then so it's like, and the face recognition. I'm gonna try it. I did like a double face ID thing. You know how they let you do like a second look. So I did both of them,
yeah, yeah,
and the face unlock on the S21 Ultra was great.
yeah.
And the fingerprint scanner was great. The face unlock has failed me. I just did it this morning, and it's failed me like 90% of the times that I've tried it so far.
Were you
So
were you growling at it?
no, I mean I'm just like I'm holding it like this in good light, and
Yeah.
it just wasn't working. So
Hmm.
I,
You know
I,
what? Okay, so I'm not giving it any passes here, but I'm just saying this. Given what we know about okay, let me back up a little bit more. Think about 3 years ago, and the thing with the fold and how they had the recall, and people took it apart and everything like that. Here we are, 3 years later. Sorry, 2 years later, and we
yeah,
already have at less than $1,000, right? And what with waterproofing and everything like that. I am confident. I mean, Samsung is going to fix these things, and the next iteration is going to be better and better and better. But those are definitely alarm bells for anybody, whether you're a tech enthusiast or someone that wants to get into these. And we talked about this before last week. I feel that the $9.99 push for that flip price is definitely kind of like a signal to the general public, to other consumers, not just tech enthusiasts, to say, hey, foldables are here, and they're not, you don't have to give up an arm, right? Like,
yeah, and I think so far my impression is this is a good phone for 2018 that folds.
for 2018, do you think it's 3 years behind?
Well, it's got a 3,300 milliamp hour battery. The cameras, like I took a couple of pictures the other day, put them on. I think it was yesterday morning. Put them on
Mm-hmm.
Twitter. So if you want to check them out, you can check them out on Twitter.
Yeah,
Um, so I put them on Twitter.
yeah,
The selfie that I took was sharp. Like there's some like
yeah.
sharpening
Well, it still has
on
the cutout,
already.
right? They're not doing the pixel thing
Right.
like the
Yeah.
fold, right? Yeah, yeah,
But you can take. So I took a selfie with the front facing camera. So that's
yeah,
one cool thing. Like you can take a selfie with the regular back camera
yeah.
just by opening this, and then you've got a little viewfinder. And what I discovered was, even though you don't see the whole frame in here,
Mm-hmm.
you end up like getting the whole frame anyway. Like I was like, oh, it's cool. It's like it's chopped off my top of my head and my chin. That's cool, but it doesn't. But it was super sharp. Like there's
Yeah.
some sharpening something or other going on in there. But
Do you
when
think it's the processing?
there's definitely some processing going on after the fact, because like you could see every hair on my face. You know, it was really really tight. So I then was taking some pictures of my grandson. He was in his car seat on the kitchen table,
Mm-hmm.
not in direct sunlight, but the room was still.
Wait a minute, wait. You put your grandson in a car seat on the kitchen table in direct sunlight? What's wrong with
No,
you?
no, he wasn't. I mean, he was on. There was the room was lit, but it wasn't like he wasn't like in like room light. That's what I was in, like a nice sort of window light when I took my selfie, right? And I could not get this thing to focus for anything. Like just normal pictures that you would take in decently lit conditions, and it just wasn't, like you couldn't rely on it being in focus, which may be the focus problem that Samsung phones had before. The S21 Ultra was an unbelievably good camera.
Yeah, I got the 21 Plus here, same camera system. Are you talking about the selfie?
No, just in general.
Yeah, this thing has been. I mean, I love taking pictures of this.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's the S21 line has a really good camera system, and T says even with the shortcomings, he's really enjoying using it.
Really?
And I don't know. I've got the fold. Oh, there she is.
Do you know that Shelly works for TubeBuddy now?
I did know that. I did know that.
She's a TubeBuddyist. Is that a thing? Whatever.
Shelly works for TubeBuddy now. Viper works for vidIQ. Man, it's all crazy. Between all of them, I tried to get my own free ticket to VidSummit.
Yeah,
and was unsuccessful. But
the timing didn't. I would have loved to have gone to that, but the timing didn't work out with the new job. I was supposed to start this new job next Tuesday.
Yeah,
like a week from today, but we're pushing it to the 13th because they have to send me a laptop and the whole setup and everything. It's going to be account management stuff that I'm used to doing,
right?
And it's work from home, which is one of the things I really wanted because we don't know what's going on with everything right now.
Right.
But it's similar account management and stuff like that I'm used to. So I'm looking forward to it. It just means that 9 to 5, not going to be on the Twitter as much as before. However, you can set up scheduled tweets the day before. So hey,
I was thinking about taking a job and then I didn't.
Yeah, I know.
And
one of your references was kind of a dick.
It's a long story.
Anyway, so very interesting. Even though the shortcomings,
T saying that he's still into it.
I wonder if they can fix that. Okay, I guess something I forgot to ask some people on Twitter and everything, and I guess we'll ask technically T while I was here. T, do you have the battery optimization turned on, or is it turned off by chance? And maybe that's there are things that are draining and everything. I don't remember if that was ever talked about or if there's any videos about that. What about you, Jason? Do you have any of that turned on or off?
Here's how I do it all the time.
Okay.
I take the phone out of the box. I turn it on. I start to use it as the settings are set out of the box.
Default.
Because I assume that Samsung has figured out like what things to turn on, what things to turn off to give you the best experience, but yet still have the battery life, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
But what are you going to expect from 3,300 milliamp hours in a split battery?
Yeah, when you're so used to, like I've always talked about that the magic number for Androids in general seems like 4,000 plus. I didn't realize it was that small. I didn't know it was 3,300. I thought it was 4,000. I haven't closely looked at the specs.
My iPhone is at 96%.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, it's just I haven't been using it because I've been using this. But still, I took it off the charger. It's just been sitting here, and I use the iPhone for the Amazon thing because Amazon Live doesn't have an Android app.
Jason, who's this?
Wait, I can't see. Hold on. Christ,
Come on.
It's not Optimus Prime.
No, Jesus Christ, no.
I don't know.
Soundwave.
Oh, okay.
Soundwave. Laserbeak. I'm trying to transition us. We need to move on to the other topics.
Yes, like the Pixel 6.
Okay, so we found. Okay, let's. Yeah, and then we'll talk about iPhone. Okay.
Yeah.
We found out today, via, if I can find the link. Here we go. I'm gonna share my screen here. Okay. If I
Yep.
can figure out, like, how do you? I can never figure out with Restream. Here we go.
That's the thing with the red line through it.
Here we go. All right, exclusive. Google Pixel 6 and 6 Pro launching October 28th. And what by launching means is in your pocket. It'll be the week before that. That pre-orders and all that kind of the presentation, everything like that. Now, very interesting article from our friend here, John Prosser. According to the information we have, he says here, pre-orders are for both the Pixel 6 and Pro will happen on Tuesday, October 19th. So in other words, that's the announcement day, and will launch Thursday, October 28th. In other words, what that means is they announce pre-orders and everything on the 19th, which is I think it's a Tuesday.
Right.
And then in your hands, I think the 28th is actually a Thursday. So announcement 19th, in your hands on the 28th. Okay, that's what they're saying. I apologize if you guys can't see that, but anyway, that's what they're saying. 19th and 28th. Now this whole article is very interesting because there was somebody that tweeted out. I'm gonna go ahead and stop sharing this. There was someone that tweeted out last week saying, "Oh, it's going to be the day before." September 13th, the day before iPhone, which in a way that sounds like something Google will do, but the person that tweeted this has like no record. They have like no, and I have to side with John Prosser in Front Page Tech simply because they were the first to give us a look at what this thing looked like. All the information has been accurate, everything. From the Pixel 5a to the Pixel 6 this year, into the name from going from Max or whatever or XL to Pro, they've been dead on, and so for that reason, based on even on past Pixel stuff, they've been very accurate. I have to side with Front Page Tech on this. Do you want to put the words back up on here?
Yeah, I did, and for some reason it didn't. Maybe we need to have somebody else chat again. There hasn't been a new chat since I took it off. But Reese here did have a question. I want to answer this question, but I agree that part of the problem, with that whole launch or announcement is the same day or so as the iPhone. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. I mean, Google is doing well for themselves in the sense that they're staying in their own lane. So at this point, for Google to like mess with Apple would be stupid.
Yeah, you're not OnePlus.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, right? Yeah.
Well, OnePlus isn't even OnePlus anymore.
We don't know what's going on with them.
so yeah, OnePlus. I mean, Never Settle became a what is it? The epitaph.
I don't know. They haven't used. Sorry, they've kept on using Never Settle, but they stopped using Flagship Killer years ago.
Yeah, they kept using Never Settle. The only difference is they started to settle.
They started to adapt. They always want. Anyway, that's a whole. They've always wanted to be. Anyway.
So I do want to answer Reese's question here about lossless audio because. So he's looking at FIO's FH3 IEMs and 2448. I don't think you'll be missing anything. The way that Apple's lossless audio works is there's lossless audio, which is officially 24-bit, 48 kilohertz. And then there's high-res lossless, which is anything above 48 kilohertz. So you're talking like 96K, 192K, something like that. 96, 192, those are the places where it's really hard to know whether or not you're hearing anything different. But 48 kilohertz is officially lossless. Yeah. According to Apple. So according to Apple, you won't be losing anything. And the majority of the content on Apple Music in terms of lossless is going to be 2448. Yeah. So you're not really going to lose anything. Now, I also want to talk about this real quick that Ace is talking about.
Yeah, I went into this. I went into their updates and I'm like, what? Yeah.
I saw that Clubhouse is now going to use spatial audio so that it feels more like you're in a room. here's what I fear it will be like.
Mm.
It'll be like there's just like a bunch of I'm like alone in a room and I just hear a bunch of disembodied voices around me. Which
Well,
it's like I mean I hear that anyway, but
does
this
the
will be
person, do the other people have to pump in as spatial, or are they just doing the converting on their end?
yeah. I no, it's spatial. So the conversion has to happen through the app.
Uh huh.
So I guess Clubhouse has decided that this will make it seem more realistic in terms of people standing around in a room. But
Okay.
who among us ever went into a Clubhouse room and thought, this is me in a room with a bunch of other people? No, it's not really
Yeah.
a room. And just having people's voices like randomly circling my head
Mm-hmm.
would really freak me out. I would not like that.
I only want that during ASMR when I'm trying to go to sleep. Okay.
So here's the whole thing about spatial audio spatial audio and Dolby Atmos. And I did a video last week sort of delineating what spatial audio is in relation to Dolby Atmos. Dolby Atmos is the foundation. Spatial audio is a special thing that Apple has figured out that works with AirPods Pro, AirPods Max, and a couple of Beats headphones, right?
Mm-hmm.
And spatial audio is basically like head tracking. So
Okay.
if you turn your head left or right, then the sound stays in the same place, but you hear it.
Yeah.
You hear
Yeah.
it, in relative to where your head is moving. But my
Mhm.
problem is like with audio, it doesn't work because like if I'm listening to a record and I turn left and the singer's ear then goes in, or I turn right and the singer's ear goes into my left ear, but there's nothing over there.
Uh-huh.
Then I'm just kind of like, it feels weird. It doesn't really work. However, spatial audio, if you're watching something, if it has a visual component, works really well. So Clubhouse with spatial audio is going to be bizarre because
I mean, I just listen through my phone, so I'm not going to really notice any difference. I don't think, right?
yeah.
Will I notice any difference? Do you think through like the desktop through Club Deck?
No, so you'll have to have the Apple devices that can actually use the head tracking spatial audio thing.
I'm not about to spend money just for that experience.
Well, no, I
I'm
wouldn't
very picky
either.
about the rooms I go into. Maybe I may go into 1 or 2 rooms a week. By the way, technically, T, if you're still here, bud, we're missing out on that Wednesday thing. He's been super busy. He's been killing it on the YouTube though. But that's pretty cool. All right, so Pixel. What did I say there? They said, okay, so announcement on the 19th, release on the 28th. Now, if I bring up, I'm just going to double check here. I should have brought up a calendar before here. If I bring up, and see, that seems to be more on track with Pixel devices, especially their main devices. So yeah, the 8T,
Yeah, I think so.
Let me take a look here. He's saying 19th and 28th. So yeah, the 19th is a Tuesday, and then the hands 28th. So I would say shipping out on the 28th, maybe in people's hands on the 29th, given how shipping companies work. But and of course, we haven't heard anything from Google, unlike the Pixel 5a, where there's a limitation on release. So US and Japan only on the 5a, which is a real bummer. But honestly, if you really look at the differences between the 5a and last year's 4a 5G, I don't want to say it's not a huge jump, but I think it's even like if you're in one of these countries that can't get the 5a 5G, that 4a 5G is still a terrific purchase. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, it's I mean, I'm excited for it, and it might be that the Pixels, pushed back a little bit further because the way that parts and materials have been,
Team Pickle.
I'm on Team Pickle.
Dude, I'm told my wife's totally anyway. Hey, it's a family show, folks. Anyway.
Yeah, shouldn't that be not Team Eggplant? It doesn't work then.
Stop. I'm excited. I hope it is. I hope this is. There's no way they're doing it before. This is also really good too because it allows me to get some more money to put together for it, so I can buy the Pixel 6 or the Pixel 6 Pro. Yeah.
My birthday is that week.
Is it the week the announcement week?
It's the 25th, so it's like a few days after, a few days before.
I'm not buying you a fucking phone.
It's my 50th birthday. It's my 50th birthday.
The big 5-0?
The big 5-0.
Dude, I'm turning 42 this year.
That's not a bad year. It's not a bad year.
Whatever.
40 was terrible.
Look at the chat.
The rest of my
Team Pickle.
40 was terrible. The rest of my 40s were like terrible.
Your 40s were good because you met me when you were like, how long have we known each other now? 4 years?
Yeah, so I was
from 46 on
45 probably.
Yeah, 45, 46. Those were good years because you met me.
Yeah.
And John brought us together. Aww. Oh, actually, you know what?
All right.
Right. So there we go. It's so Jonathan Rash is saying Zach's not saying it. Not saying when it comes to the Pixel, his team Pickle is so it's no longer to Google Pixel.
Listen,
or is it?
First of all,
I don't even know what that says. What does
that
say?
I know it's probably just a thing on your phone, but it's 3 letters, Jonathan. Come on, man. But yeah, I'll call it Team Pickle. It's cool with me. I'm sure it's fine with Google as well.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not a member of Team Pixel or Team Pickle, although I did get a contact. So I might reach out. It's been a busy week. Week, but I would like to try the 5A.
I have something okay. Well, so would I. And I reached out to my Canadian contact who might be reaching out to U.S. contacts to make something happen because of my majority thing. But hey, just a transition before we talk about iPhone release. See this space back here?
Yeah.
Like there's stuff on these desks and everything right now. You guys can't really see, but it's a mess. There's going to be something else, like just a few different things that'll be on here pretty soon, people. Just stick around to my channel. Jason knows, but can't talk about it directly because the paperwork's not officially signed, but everything's verbal. So pretty excited about that.
You know what else I got since I got the Flip? I went out and got these guys.
What is that? Oh, there's the Buds.
The snot-colored Galaxy Buds 2.
So Buds 2, are they not? They're not the Buds Live 2. Wait, the Buds Live are the ones that look like beans, right?
Yes, those are the Galaxy kidney beans.
Okay, and which ones are those? Those are the what?
These are the Buds 2.
Can you put yourself full screen and show the people?
Yes. Hold, please.
You got that awesome, focus.
Look at that
Ooh,
focus.
Sexy.
Yeah, and
what's with the color? What's with the color? What do they call that color?
They call it olive. I call it snot.
Right.
They call it olive. Like, who wants an olive? Like, who wants to walk around with like something that looks like an olive stuck in their ear?
Well, it's like Google's called their latest Pixel 5 mostly black, but it's definitely got a green tint to it. Do you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, it's. I don't know. I like these weird colors when companies come out with these weird colors.
I like that color. I like that subtle.
Yeah, and
nice.
So I also did a review of these yesterday. So those were the first impressions of the Flip and the review of these Pixel Buds 2.
Jonathan, you're good. You're good.
Are the two videos that are coming out later on this week, and those no spoilers, but these don't suck. Which is saying something for Samsung.
They got noise canceling the whole. They got all the bells and whistles.
Cancellation, active noise cancellation, transparency mode.
Are they comfortable?
They are very comfortable.
How long can you wear them for, on average?
I wore them for at least. Okay, so I took a walk with the baby. I was wearing them. I wore them the whole time. So about it. And then I was wearing them after I got home, listening to my audiobook. So I would say hour and a half to 2 hours.
Cool. Did you get a chance to try out the TCL Move Audio S600s?
I have them. I've looked at them.
They're so comfortable, and the app with them is awesome. I absolutely love those. Not to take away from what you got there, but $100 in 3 different colors for those.
Those
are complete.
These are 150. Yeah,
nice.
And they've got wireless charging, of course, and all that kind of thing. I got out, so I have here my original Galaxy Buds, which, if you forget what they look like, there's what they look like.
Nice.
Sort of an ice blue. And they've got the little wing that helps. But I'm just going to say it. The old ones, compared to the new ones, the old ones are trash.
Really?
I mean,
Wow.
they weren't very good to begin with. The new
What was not
ones,
what was not very good about them?
they were just okay. So this is what I noticed when I sort of went back and forth with these and those yesterday.
Okay.
Um, they are they're very sort of narrow in their frequency range
Mm.
and harsh. And these have a much fuller frequency range, kind of a smiley face curve. So there's a little bump in the bass, a little bump in the high end.
Nice.
The only thing I would say is that the high end is a little shrill at times. It gets a little
Mm-hmm.
splashy, like say when when you're listening and there's cymbal hits or something like that. It can get a little brash up there at the
What
very
were you
top
listening
end.
on? What were you listening on, and what app service?
I was listening on the flip,
On the flip.
and I was listening to Apple Music.
Okay.
So,
So you're getting some high quality stuff there. Okay.
well, I mean, it's it's going through Bluetooth, so it's not like lossless or anything, but it's
Okay.
fine.
All right.
And so I found that yes, they were very comfortable. They stayed in the ears pretty well. The one thing I like about Samsung is they have that fit testing thing that you can do. Apple does it
Yeah.
too,
Yep.
and
Yep.
then also these are like they're findable with
Oh,
the
so you
app,
can use the font. Well, it's not the find, but it's similar. You go into the wearables. You go into the Samsung
the
wearable
Wear
app,
app.
the
Yeah,
Wear app, and you say find, and then it's like like they say like make sure they're not in your ears, and then it
oh
like it's
yeah,
like a high pitch, right? Like yeah,
yeah. So
yeah.
I think these might even have something similar to what like the AirPods or something do, where it doesn't necessarily make a sound. It's trackable through smart things or something like that. I need to. I looked it up and I can't remember exactly what it was.
Kayvon says can't send a super chat on Android. The app crashes. Check your expiry date.
Yeah, man. That's the whole thing.
Sometimes
That's why Android hates me. That's why I'm so Apple centric.
I have more issues super chatting on iPhone than I do, but and also Apple takes a bigger cut, right? So all right,
I don't know.
transition. So let's move on to our
Well,
next topic.
we got
Well,
iPhone 13.
yeah. So
We now
I'll
have a
bring up.
date.
Yeah, let me bring up my thing here. So let me show you my screen here because again, this is via our good friend John and everything like that. He put out a tweet the other day, and again, just to I wanted to clarify because a lot of people seem to misunderstand like announcement and everything. So the Apple event is supposed to be Tuesday, September 14th. That is the event. Then the following Friday, you'll be able to pre-order, and then the
Then the
Friday after that,
following Friday, you
will
get
be
the thing.
delivery, just like how it is every year. So you have a
Yep.
Tuesday event, a Friday order, and a Friday delivery. So 14th, 17th, 24th. Mark your calendars, people. As it sounds right now, it sounds like it will be called the iPhone 13. I was confident they were going to call it an S because two reasons. One, we haven't heard like there's going to be a lot of huge changes. And two, I thought that they would be, sensitive to using 13, like how some people are freaked out about 13. But we have iOS 13, this and that. So I guess, cool,
Yeah,
right?
and I think the days of the S have sort of ended
Well,
because we
yeah,
had
I think they want to use solid, solid numbers because I know
yeah
that when I worked in the industry, it always got really confusing when I would send emails or back and forth with vendors and everything, and someone would forget to put like 5S or 6S or something like that.
yeah
Or like, does this fit with the S? No, it fits with the 7. Da, 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 you know what I mean, right? So I think it makes more sense to go with solid numbers. However, for us nerds and everything in the industry here, in the tech niche, I think it makes more sense for us to go, depending on what the upgrades are, it's going to be like an S upgrade, in my opinion. Because I mean, I don't know about you, Jason, but I feel like we haven't heard a lot. There's not a, I don't want to say nothing exciting is happening because we don't know what's going to be announced, right?
yeah.
But
And I've
yeah,
purposefully not read, watched. I've seen no balloon art that
yeah,
says I've not watched anything, read anything about any of the rumors, leaks, blah blah blah.
yeah,
Uh, you know, Here's the thing. As we've talked about now for the past couple of years, we've gone past the point where every year is going to be some kind of great leap forward.
yeah.
And every year, now I'm going to pick on Dr. Claw here just because he happened to be the
I
person
love
that's
Dr. Claw, Inspector
yeah,
Gadget and everything.
but I'm just there's always two camps in this argument. There's either the people, there's either the camp who's like, it's not going to be a big deal, I'm over it, blah blah blah, right? And then there's the camp that's just going to be excited because it's a new iPhone, right?
Yeah, the
And it
Apple.
doesn't
Yeah.
necessarily matter. It doesn't necessarily matter if it's like groundbreaking or not. It's a new iPhone. Every year we get one. It's kind of like Christmas at this point. So
I think we're going to
Genosis
see
is,
the hype. I think we're going to see the hype machine kind of turn on. Dexter says here, Apple doesn't have any hype, any buzz this year. I think we're going to see the hype machine like kind of ramp up towards the end of this week, and especially going into next week. Do you know what I mean? And especially like the official invites. It sounds like it's going to be a virtual thing. Will be on probably Tuesday next week, and that's actually something I'm looking forward to. The whole thing, like their production and everything, they're from the Space Donut. It's going to be fun. I can't wait to see them standing up on top of the building telling us how much they've saved the planet by not putting chargers in the box. But let's not talk about how much.
I wonder if that woman from last year is still on the roof.
I want to hear. I did a video about this. I want hard numbers this year, like how much. And please don't let out. And please do not. And please do not gloss over the fact that people that wanted chargers and charging bricks, you had to pay for shipping for those, packaging, making. Include those numbers, Apple. Include those.
Yeah, well, I mean,
let's see if there's a real offset.
I think
Such a joke.
anyone but the staunchest, most dedicated apologist would admit that the whole eco-friendly thing is bullshit. Right?
I don't know if it's. I don't.
I mean,
I want to believe, but like, and
Here's the thing.
I hate being cynical, Jason, because I've made a conscious effort to try not to be as cynical and everything, but I have to look at it for the eyes of a reviewer and for our audience and go, this is bullshit, man. This is a total money grab. Excuse the language.
So here's the thing. Now there might be a secondary effect, right? There might be some improvement in Apple's overall footprint, right?
Yeah.
So there might be a secondary effect in Apple's eco footprint. Great. But we all know that Apple wouldn't have done this if it didn't mean they were going to make more money, right? Make more money.
Yeah, I mean, services, accessories. I am more than happy to recommend to all of you, if you need to get an adapter, go buy an Anchor, go buy an Alkey, go buy, hell, Nomad has a beautiful little power adapter now. Get that stuff.
Here's the thing. I mean, Eric Rodriguez says the charging cable will be the next thing to go. Well, of course it will, because there won't be anything to plug it into.
And it's so silly. Then you go to these terrific budget devices, which I'm totally attracted to. From brands like TCL, you got different, and of course, Samsung's just as guilty. They've taken out the charger, but when you go to their more budget friendly, financially conservative type devices, like for example, right here, A52 5G comes with everything in the box. Last year with the FE, everything came in the box. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just it's so weird. You spend $1,000 on a flip, or last year $1,400, $1,500, nothing. Yet you go spend half the money on just as capable 5G device, and you get no charger in the box. The Pixel 6 and the Pixel 6 Pro will not. Pixel 6 and the Pixel 6 Pro will not have a charger in the box. They've already talked about this. And the headphone. It's. Oh, I get it, but I'm here for the consumer.
Okay, so here's the thing. Here's what I noticed. So I bought the Flip 3. I came home, and I get a lot of chargers throughout the year because I get a lot of phones throughout the year. I can't find any of my USB-C fast chargers.
A couple of mine went missing recently too, along with my Daryl Eves YouTube formula book. We had some friends over, and Matt, I know you took that shit.
So the thing is, Matt, if I'm missing out on mine, I can't find them anywhere, then the average person might not have had a USB-C charger in the first place, so probably had to buy one. And now it's it was inconvenient. The only way I can charge this right now, and I can only do it because I actually have these devices, is use the wireless charger. So it's definitely to benefit Apple. And you know what? I mean,
Bored all
It's
day is asking
annoying.
the important questions. Yes. Sam Williams. Of course he does. He's a transformer. Go on. Sorry, Jason.
So Alan says he's not sold on MagSafe yet. I will say this.
Do you like it? I mean, you have the 12, don't you?
I have the 12 Pro Max. Yes.
You get the big
I
boy. Yeah.
I bought a charger that uses MagSafe to hold this thing on the charger, like so it's held up like it's on a stand,
Nice.
right?
Yeah.
And it charges and it's great. Yeah, it's not like super fast charge or anything. MagSafe is great because the more devices that they come up with to use it, the better it's going to be,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was looking for a car charger that worked with MagSafe, and none of the major car charger uh, manufacturers have come up with one yet. They're probably waiting for the 13, right? But there was one that I kept seeing on Instagram and Facebook everywhere, um, and so I just like you know it looked like it held really well.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of potential for MagSafe. I think we're going to see some MagSafe, like if Moment doesn't come up with like a MagSafe case that does something with the lenses or something like that. We're going to
Yes,
see
they have.
MagSafe being
Yes, they have.
adopted.
Okay, so regarding moments, I'll talk about them. I don't have the bag here. Shoot, I left it all upstairs. They came out with. I did a video on this, by the way. They came out with something called M Force, which reinforces and makes that mag area stronger. In addition, they also have made MagSafe cases for other phones, i.e., Galaxy S21 Plus. So they actually have a MagSafe slash M Force case, so that you can use all their mag stuff or even other companies' mag stuff. Okay,
Right.
so they've
Yeah.
actually reinforced that with what they called M Force. The lenses, of course, still switch on, everything like that, but they have a whole bunch of accessories, that kind of thing. So we've seen them do that. I know with Pitaka, like this is a Pitaka case right here. They don't answer my emails anymore, which is really weird. I haven't said anything bad. Pitaka's done their reinforcement thing so that their mag cases still work with mag, so that the magnets don't cancel out each other, but it more or
Right.
less
Yeah.
reinforces it. Right. My worry about magnets, and it seems like it's okay. It seems like obviously this has been thought about, but in the past, if you had a case or something that had a magnet and that magnet was near your lens, especially if the lens had optical image stabilization, like actual physical optical image stabilization,
Yeah.
that magnet can actually make that lens move around and then eventually wear out. It seems like the magnets in both the iPhone, things like this with the S21 Plus, etc., other devices, those magnets are far enough away. I hope that nobody makes that kind of mistake, because I've seen
Right.
that issue happen.
So Bored All Day says that he picked up the Belkin 3-in-1 MagSafe charger. That thing looks sweet. That's the one that
Yeah.
it's a very nice looking piece and
Yep.
would look nice on the desk. So I kind of was looking at that and wanted to see that. But the one that I ended up getting was similar, but it's cheaper, Amazon, Chinese made thing.
There's a lot of really bad stuff out there with really bad magnets. People, if you're putting magnets near your devices, please make sure it's a reputable brand and make sure you've watched a review from somebody within North America first. That's just the reality of it. Don't go on to just searching for stuff on Amazon, because it's the Wild West out there. It's still the Wild West out there on Amazon when it comes to MagSafe stuff.
So Kayvon says he switched from the iPad Pro M1 to a Surface Go 2 for half the price because he couldn't format the SD card that he was trying to use to work with the iPad file system.
Yeah.
Why does Apple treat the iPad like a tablet? Well, because they are bound and determined to make sure that it stays a tablet no matter what, which doesn't make any sense to me. I'll tell you what. If Apple were to make the M1 iPad a Mac OS capable device, I would have bought that thing. I would have been using it. I would have been all over it. But I don't know what's holding them back. But they don't want to do it.
It's weird.
And I'm perfectly happy with my 2018 iPad Pro. You know, if there's no physical difference, there's the difference in the screen, but I'm not going to worry. Like that's not going to make a huge day-to-day difference in my life. So I'm not going to spend $1,500 on an iPad until it really does something that's going to outstrip what I already have.
Michael Pepper says here, he had a question. Where is it? Have you seen Moment's new app, Grain, for making presets? I have not. Do you have any idea what he's talking about there, Jason?
No, I haven't seen it either.
It's funny because I'm actually part of the Moment Squad. I should know about that, but I haven't kept up to date. I'll definitely check into it, though. I just made a note here.
Mail sensitivity says that Apple won't do that because they don't want to cannibalize any of their sales. But the thing is, like, you know, if you talk to Renee Ritchie, Renee will often tell you that Apple has never been afraid to make their stuff compete with one another and, you know, may the best device win. But that doesn't seem to be the case with the iPad and MacBooks for some reason. So I don't know. I mean, Renee has been covering Apple at a deep level for many, many, many years, and he's really familiar with their corporate culture and how they run their product lines. And so I don't doubt him when he says that. However, something about the M1 chip in the iPad doesn't make sense. Now, what if we get an M1 chip in the iPhone?
Vipers in the chat.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I saw the
came
flames.
In here with,
I saw the flames.
That's a flamethrower. I don't know.
Yeah.
If Elon Musk should send a flamethrower to anybody, it should be Viper.
I agree.
Can you imagine?
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, like, I think it has something to do with this whole M1 thing. I think they encountered issues that weren't issues before M1, right?
Yep.
Once they went to ARM chips for all the computers, then suddenly, like, what's really separating the mobile devices from the computing devices? Not really all that much. So, I mean, there are plenty of people who say that the M1 is really just like the A14 or whatever, you know? So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. I mean, there's still pieces of the puzzle with Apple that have not come down the pipe. We don't know what the MacBook Pros, the larger ones, we don't know what the larger iMac is going to look like. We don't know if there's going to be some kind of Pro device or if the iMac is going to split that difference.
Yeah.
So there's a lot that we don't know, and it looks like, well, I mean, definitely we're going to see the iPhone before we see those devices. Right?
Dexter says here, so excuse me. Hopefully during the September 14th event, we'll see answers to those things. Dexter brings up a question, which we've seen many times before. When will we have a portless iPhone? I don't think we're going to see a portless iPhone until we see a much, 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 much wider adoption of wireless charging, not only across iPhones, but across Androids, you know, everything kind of thing.
See, here's the thing, though. This is what we know historically.
Mm-hmm. Like MagSafe is the step, right? When
it comes to changing the paradigm for stuff, Apple does it. Apple says, no more, here's USB-C Thunderbolt. Screw you.
Yeah.
And then makes everybody else adapt.
Yeah.
So if Apple wants to go portless with the iPhone and have MagSafe be the way to connect things to the iPhone one way or the other, if they decide that's what they're doing, then they'll do it. They don't give a shit.
Yeah.
They'll just be like, don't care. Portless iPhone could happen in 2 weeks. We don't know. I don't think it will happen this year. I think that it might happen in 2022.
Courage.
But Apple, I mean, they are not afraid to just say, you know what, we're just doing this. You know, yeah. I mean, the courage thing is the same thing as the stupid taking the charger out of the box for the environment thing.
We're saving the world.
But the thing about The thing, would I buy a portless iPhone? Would I have a choice? If I wanted to buy an iPhone and then there was no port, I'd have to buy it,
Yeah, and all
right?
the accessories. Yep.
I mean, people have hung on to their iPhone 6S's for as long as they possibly could to
My
keep the
dad is a
headphone
perfect
jack.
example. Perfect example. Yep.
But, eventually that's where it's going to go. And as soon as Apple goes portless, Samsung will have a little spate of commercials where they make fun of them. And then, like, one product cycle down the line, Samsung will do exactly what Apple did. And then Pixel will do exactly what Apple
Hold on.
did.
Speaking of Pixel, they recently did that. Google recently put out a commercial, an ad on their YouTube channel. The ad made by Google YouTube channel. You can look it up. It's right there. They released it like 3 days ago, where they made fun of and how they have a headphone jack in the 5A,
Yeah.
but we know that the upcoming 6 will not.
Yeah.
They're doing the same thing.
Well, you know
But
why?
you know what? People's attention spans and their memory is very short, when it comes to consumer stuff, unfortunately.
Well, okay, so here we have some institutional hypocrisy, I guess.
Yeah.
You know
Let me find it.
why there are headphone jacks on like mid-range and budget devices?
Because they kind of, I don't say look down, but the demographic for those devices typically will not spend the money on wireless, correct?
Budget phones are for poor people. That's why. And poor people are not going to.
Are you saying that, or are they saying that?
That's the sort of conventional wisdom. Because the thing that's hypocritical about it is they could just as much put a headphone jack and leave it there on the flagship devices.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't, because Samsung might put a headphone jack on the A series phones, but on the Galaxy series phones, they got these to sell. and so they want to sell the wireless headphones to the people who have the, like, if they can spend $1,000 on a phone, they can spend $150 on these earbuds, because Apple actually trained us to be completists when it comes to accessories. And all the other companies have got on board over the years with having an ecosystem of accessory products made by them that completes the whole thing. And so basically the thought is poor people aren't going to buy wireless headphones. The truth of the matter is still like 80% of everybody in the world uses wired headphones.
Yeah. Let me show you this.
But
this is the Google thing. The title of it is "The Circle Comes Full Circle with the new Google Pixel 5a with 5G." Now, I'm just going to kind of skip through it, but it's got like a Johnny Ives like narrator or anything. You're not going to hear anything, but they're talking about like the it's a 2-minute thing, and like here comes the headphone jack, right?
Yeah.
And like it's got this whole Johnny, like, see, there it is right there. Plug it in, right? And the fact that again, the video is called the Circle Comes Full Circle with the new Pixel 5a with 5G. So yeah. It's just kind of funny that they would do this, and then like that your upcoming flagship is not gonna have this, and probably the next version of the Pixel 5, like the 6a or whatever they call it, will most likely not have a headphone jack. Do you know what I mean? Like I think this will be the last Pixel with a headphone jack. Seems like
all of the A series phones have had headphone jacks.
Yeah,
the 3A had a headphone jack. The 4A had a headphone jack. The fact that they're like pointing it out now with the 5A is ridiculous. And here's what I'll tell you. The headphone jack in those A series phones is dog shit.
Yeah, but the thing is, that's not the market. That's when you say dog.
Yeah.
Hold on.
But now you're doing it.
What am I doing?
So this is the whole thing. They get a cheap off-the-shelf headphone jack part, right? Cheap, probably 3 cents a unit, right? Yeah. And they put it in there, and then they say, look, we got a headphone jack. And the assumption is that means you can use your wired headphones and get all that good sound and audio.
But
right?
nobody's thinking about good sounding audio. They're just thinking about audio adjacent. They're thinking about I can plug in. The people in that demographic that want to spend that kind of money, they don't know lossless, FLAC, whatever. They don't care. They want to be able to plug in, turn on YouTube Music or Spotify, and away we go. Right? If you care about that high quality and everything, you already know all this stuff, and you know they get a separate DAC or whatever, or an LG device or whatever it is with a quality DAC. You're talking about two different audiences here. The 5A is not meant for the nerds and all us here that care about DACs and this and that. The 5A is for consumers that want to not spend the money and
but I'm talking about why they're pointing it out. Why they're pointing it out as opposed to like what the actual reason it's there. The reason that they point it out in an ad, I mean, because the average consumer is not going to watch that ad either, right? They're pointing it out in the ad to say, look, we're bringing back this stuff that, you know, at this point, headphone jacks have become like, I don't know, fetishist, right? To the people who would be paying attention to that Google ad. However, the headphone jack that they put in there doesn't sound good. So anybody who says, "Hey, the Google Pixel
I'm willing to
5A,
bet.
let me finish.
Okay.
Anybody who says the Google Pixel 5A, hey, it has a headphone jack. LG's not making phones anymore. I want a new phone. There's a headphone jack. I like headphone jacks. I'm going to get that phone, and it just happens to be cheaper. Is going to be sorely disappointed because the headphone jack itself isn't a high quality piece.
Okay, stop right there with the high quality thing, because I'm 110% confident if you went out with a device with a high quality DAC and then you had someone listen to the Pixel 5A or TCL or whatever it is that has a quote unquote low quality headphone jack, majority of people that they're trying to get in that demographic are not going to be able to tell the difference.
You're missing my point.
No, go ahead.
You're missing my point. My point is that there are people out there who want to buy a phone with a headphone jack. Right? And these are the people who will watch that ad. So I'm not talking about the people that you're talking about. I'm talking about people who, you know, maybe they held on to their iPhone 6S forever, and now it's not going to be supported anymore. And so they got to get something new. Or maybe they're LG customers who need a new phone, and they see this Google ad where they, you know, make, you know, sexual motions with the headphone jack, right? And they're like, "Ooh, there's a headphone jack on there. Maybe I'll get the Pixel 5A. It's also less expensive and blah blah blah." There are people out there who will look and say, "Headphone jack, I want that phone," who will be buying it because they want to have the quality.
Okay, they're going to know that the quality is not in those headphone jacks because they're not that demographic. We're talking about two different segments, Jason.
No, there are plenty of people who could buy a flagship phone who would choose to buy a mid-range phone with a headphone jack. There are plenty of people. I don't think that it's as segmented as you think it is, because there are plenty of people who have, like I said, kept their iPhone 6S for 7 years.
So you're saying the 6S has a better headphone jack than, say, the Pixel 5A?
Without a doubt.
Okay.
Without a doubt.
Okay. But would those same people be able to tell the difference? Is what I'm asking.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so what if they were listening to Spotify the whole time? You're telling me that their Spotify experience on the 6S and then what they're hearing is going to sound, quote unquote, worse on the 5A? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
That's what you're saying? You're really saying that?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because we know that Spotify it's the same compression and everything between both.
No, but it's the actual parts. The DAC, the headphone jack itself, the connections, the leads, everything that's in there, everything that's in those lesser expensive phones are cheaper, less performative parts. And so the same information it's like, okay, let's just say that the iPhone 6S headphone jack is a Toyota Camry, right?
Okay.
And so it does the job. It's not the best in the world, but it's a decent car. It does the job, whatever. Mm-hmm. And the quality of it is pretty nice for somewhere in, you know, the upper middle range. The headphone jack that they're building into the 5A, the 4A, the 3A,
yeah,
is more like a Toyota Yaris.
Okay, but I'm not arguing that. I'm saying that the people that kept their iPhone 6s as an example, and okay, they've kept it for this long because of that DAC, because of that. They like
Yeah.
the high quality audio. They recognize that. They're not going to look at the Pixel 5a because they're going to know from their own research, because they're that kind of person. You are one of those people that knows that the quality of the jack in there is not going to be where it's going to be. Whereas what Google's trying to do with the Pixel 5a is bring the best of Google without, killing a bank account. And here is a headphone jack for everybody else that doesn't, quote unquote, look for high quality or this and that. They can't tell the difference, or they don't care, but they still want to be able to plug in.
What I'm talking specifically about the people who would watch this advertisement, the one that you just showed us.
Okay, because I've seen this advertisement like during my local news and everything. That's how I came across it. I saw the ad, I saw the end of it, and then I saw a Mobile Syrup article talking about it, and then here we are.
What are they doing with the headphone jack in that ad? What is their purpose for having it featured in that ad?
I think the whole purpose is, if you actually listen to the ad, it's actually kind of funny. It's pretty clear that they're making fun of devices that don't have it, and that they do have it, and it's still an essential piece. Where my thinking goes is, okay, cool, you're probably going to get the attention of people that want headphone jacks and everything like that, but your upcoming flagship's not going to have it, and your next A series is not going to have it. What are you doing? It's the same thing how Apple or how Samsung used to bring out the ad saying, this is included, and then a year later, poof, right?
Well, my point is that like not hearing the audio and seeing only the visuals of that.
Yeah.
I mean, they completely fetishized.
They totally did.
But the headphone jack.
The voiceover for it is like a Johnny Ives, like British, whatever. It's go watch it with the sound after. It's kind of funny, but again, I kind of roll my eyes. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, because we're just gonna make fun of you soon.
My overall point is that I think by fetishizing the headphone jack in that, they are making an effort to at least get the eye of people who would have bought an LG or people who
no, and I totally agree. That's like I think it serves a few different audiences. One, people that want headphone jacks, people that kind of get the whole high DAC fidelity, that whole thing, right? The high quality. And maybe there's a third segment. I don't know, but definitely. I wish I would have played it with sound, but I don't know how it's going to work with copyright here and everything. So yeah.
Well, see, and at the end of the day, too, I mean, this is the hypocrisy of the whole thing, and Apple started it, and Apple's all the other companies are being led by Apple's example. That it's okay to be completely hypocritical about what features you do and don't keep on your devices as long as you make more and more money, right? So Apple is the responsible party for this hypocritical thing that we've got going on. And when they take away, and we got to this point by talking about when they take away the port. The port is going to go. I mean, basically the lightning port, I mean, there's not very much longer that they can justify continuing to put the lightning jack in the phone.
Well, especially when like your iPads and everything else is using USB Type-C, and then you look at the other side of the coin with Androids and everything, they're all using USB Type-C, and you've got countries, the EU, this and that, barking at them saying, get on board and everything, right?
Well, they solved that with a dongle.
Yeah, I know.
So at the end of the day, they can't really justify going with the Lightning anymore. I mean, especially if they make if the iPhone becomes more powerful vis-a-vis, a more powerful chip like the iPad did. The reason the iPad Pros have USB and USB-C and now USB-C Thunderbolt 4 is because they had the potential to be more powerful devices and needed more throughput. And the Lightning cable can't do what needs to be done to do that.
Yep.
So what's going to happen is, I think that they will have, this is possible. They have the Pro device, right? The Pro device has a USB-C Thunderbolt 4 jack. And then they have the regular iPhones that have nothing.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You see? And then they throw like a MagSafe charger in the box with no charging brick.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? That's kind of what I see happening. Like
I
that would be
wonder
a
if
way.
Samsung is going to try to like, quote unquote, because like Samsung did foldables first. I wonder if Samsung will try to be first to like no ports. Do you know what I
doubt
mean?
it. No, I
Actually,
mean,
no. Actually, let me rephrase that. I believe there are some other Chinese brands. I think Vivo did do a completely portless device. So scratch that off the list. I think. Yeah,
I
courage.
don't think that any of the companies who make a lot of their sales in overseas markets
Hmm.
are going to be fast to ditch the ports. They're going to wait for Apple, and then they're going to wait a product cycle, and then they're going to be done.
Yeah.
So because that's the way it goes. That's the way it goes with everything. Apple does it first, everybody complains, and then one product cycle later, they do exactly the same thing.
So, well, at least that's how it is in North America, right? I mean, that's what the attention is, right? So
Yeah, well,
yeah.
but with Samsung and other companies, like whatever they do for the North American market is mirrored in the other markets that they're working in too. So
We need to, yeah.
yeah, it's
Good.
time. It's time to be done.
Yeah, let's wrap it up. Okay, so let's first of all, thank you everybody for joining
Yeah,
us this evening.
yeah. You
Good
guys have
hearty conversation. Got a little tense
oh,
there. Intense.
yeah.
It's all good.
But yeah, no. We should do what should you watch?
Mm-hmm.
And I also want to include what should you listen to, because
Ooh.
I'm getting back into trying to force myself into listening to music on a more
Regular
regular
basis.
basis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so for
So
me, I don't have anything. Okay, actually, you know what album celebrated 30 years this past week?
no.
Pearl Jam's 10. That you got Jeremy on there, you've got Wygo, you've got Alive Once, uh, you're gonna get his copy strike. You got Black on there. So listen, if you want to listen to it, you don't like Pearl Jam, do you?
I like them fine.
Okay.
I mean I liked 10. I liked the second record, and then I was just kind of over it.
Okay. So if you get a chance, it's the 30th anniversary of Pearl Jam's 10. Listen to that. I listened to it on both Spotify and on YouTube Music because I got the YouTube Music with my premium and everything like that. And then as for watching, believe it or not, I have watched Zack Snyder's Justice League, the 4-hour thing, like 3 times within the last few days, just like late at night when I couldn't sleep, right? And that is just spectacular. Just spectacular.
So I was just sitting here waiting. I'm like, okay, when's the artwork for Kanye West Donda gonna load?
I heard
That's a joke.
Donda is like just garbage.
That's a joke because the art is just a black field.
Is it? I
Yeah.
haven't. I cycled through a couple tracks, and like I like Kanye West, but I'm just like this is dumb.
I've never had a use for Kanye West. I got to be honest. Never had a use for him.
You got to find a use for him. Okay, so what do you
Well, of
recommend we
course.
listen to and watch?
Okay, so I have
Use.
to admit that I've been really enjoying the new Billie Eilish record.
Oh my god.
I really like it. She is really, really good. She's incredibly talented. So I've really been liking that. But then also, I spent some time last week, probably several hours, where I just put the Rolling Stones on. Like I went to their page on the Apple Music app, and I just hit shuffle.
One of them passed
And
away recently. I think the drummer.
Charlie Watts,
Charlie Watts,
the
yeah.
drummer of the Rolling Stones.
Ed Asner died.
Yeah, I don't care about that.
Wow.
Charlie Watts deserves a couple of seconds of discussion here because Charlie Watts is 100% the reason that the Rolling Stones ever did anything. Because the rest of them were such a sloppy messes, and that's part of what made them beautiful, but they were sloppy players, sloppy messes all over the place. And Charlie Watts was like a nuclear clock, just in the background, no flash, no fanciness, wearing a suit, just doing his thing.
How is Keith Richards still alive? I don't
full blood transfusions.
Do you think so?
That was
Crazy.
always the story in the 70s and 80s, that like his blood was so poisoned that they had to like cycle all of his blood out with new blood.
Him and the two guys from Aerosmith, like, how are they still alive? With how many drugs they've done.
Well, I think that assholes live longer, for one thing.
Yeah.
That's part of it. And
Yeah.
Steven Tyler and Joe Perry are both monstrous assholes.
Toxic twins. Yeah.
I think Keith Richards is actually a pretty cool guy.
I think he is too, but I'm just like, how is he still alive though, dude?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if anybody was going to die first in the Rolling Stones, Charlie Watts would not have been my guess, because he was like
I thought it'd be Keith Tully. Yeah.
The most prim and proper. I mean, other people from the Rolling Stones have died, but of the main group, right? But my favorite two quick favorite Charlie Watts stories. One, Charlie Watts always had an assistant that was always walking around with him whenever he went anywhere. And part of his assistant's job was to carry his phone, his wallet, his keys, like anything that would go in his pockets. Okay. Charlie Watts refused to put anything in his pockets. He wore these like tailored suits, very slim, very fitting.
Yeah.
And putting anything in the pockets of the suit would totally mess up the lines of the suit. So cigarettes.
What
phone,
a guy. Wow.
I mean, that is dedication to what you know to be your fashion.
I just want to point out that there's a search on YouTube or on Twitter, on Google, what keeps Keith Richards alive, and there's like there's a whole list here.
So my other favorite Charlie Watts story, and I don't know if this is apocryphal or not, but I hope that it's true.
Okay.
Sometime in the 70s or 80s, when the Stones were like, just drugged out, drunk, going all over the world doing stupid stuff. One night, Mick Jagger is in his hotel room, drunk. He calls up Charlie Watts on the phone. Charlie Watts picks up, and Mick Jagger's like, "Where's my drummer?" And Charlie Watts hangs up the phone, and then puts on his pants and gets dressed and combs his hair, goes down the hall to Mick Jagger's door, knocks. He opens it. Charlie Watts punches him in the nose and says, "You're my fucking singer."
I've heard that story. Yeah.
And that's Charlie Watts is everything that is cool but yet mystically unknown about rock. And that brings me to what you should watch. You should watch.
What?
I started last night. I had been afraid to do it, but last night I started to watch the Hulu series High Fidelity. I loved the book, and then they made the movie famously with Jack Black and John Cusack. Man, I loved that movie. And so I was really afraid of what the TV series would be. Although Zoe Kravitz, I mean, Zoe Kravitz could stand in a phone booth, and that would be enough. I could just watch that. She's
I think she plays Catwoman in the Batman.
She does, yeah.
And apparently some of the reviews of it, like people got to see like firsthand. People are like, this is like what the biggest headline I saw was, this is a horror movie. Like which is awesome, because that's exactly what the Long Halloween, or what was it called? Long Halloween or whatever.
Yeah. Long Halloween and Dark Victory, I think, are the two that
I can't wait.
But yeah, so I heard that too.
Yeah.
But Zoe Kravitz plays the John Cusack character, so they gender bent a few things.
Okay.
But I really had fun with it. It was weird because it's filmed in my old neighborhood in Brooklyn.
Nice.
So I see these places. I'm like, wait, that's Union Pool. That's this place. That's that place. And of course, it's like, hipster Williamsburg, Brooklyn kind of thing. But I really enjoyed it. And Zoe Kravitz is really great. And the music is fantastic.
Okay.
And episode 2, now this is the last thing I want to tell you guys all to go listen to right now.
Okay. I'm writing it down. Go.
Ann Peebles, Peebles.
Okay, yeah.
I Can't Stand the Rain. Okay, so that was the play out track on episode 2. And I've heard that song before, but I never listened to it, paid attention to it. Damn, that is such a good song.
Good song.
So everybody, all 66 of you, I'm sending you out with a mission to go listen to that song. That song is so good. It starts out with this really weird guitar, like reverby guitar plucking thing
Yeah.
that sounds like a loop, but it's not. It's really cool. It's really
Cool.
cool. So
All right.
anyway, that's our show for tonight.
Yay!
Yay! Thank you
we have-
all
do we-
so much
do-
for being here.
Hello there.
Oh, yeah.
That's Kenobi.
Show me the money.
Show me the money!
Well, Missy Elliott sampled the song. Yes. But the whole song is really good. So,
People, I'm getting started. I'm going to plug this because, that's just one of the things I could do. People, I'm going to get started over on my channel, Zach Talks Tech, in about 38 minutes.
and I am going to end my day of live streaming.
There's the linky.
Yeah, go hang out with Zach on his stream. I am going to go take a headache pill and
Cool.
And lounge on the couch.
I'm going to go take a pee and chill out with the wife for a bit. Then I'll be back.
This is 4 hours of streaming today.
Good times.
4 hours. Anyway, thank you all so much. So much. You guys are awesome. And we'll be back next Tuesday, obviously. But otherwise, until then, for myself and my good friend Zach, my name is Jason, sometimes known as the JTL. This has been Painfully Honest Tech. Tech, so honest it hurts. Until the next